All right, so then we have a number of topics here. I mean, we can go into the NFL really briefly. I did not watch last night's Panthers and Bears matchup.
Give yourself a pat on the back because I told you before. I sat down saying these teams are so bad, this game might be entertaining. Then 2 minutes ago in the first half, I said, what am I doing? This game is so bad, and these teams are so bad, it's actually not entertaining whatsoever. So to go to bed when it was 10-3, I believe, and then wake up to see the Bears came back and won last night, these are two of the worst 3-4 teams in the NFL. And the thing that I think is more important to talk about, no matter what the result was last night, the Chicago Bears were going to win.
Yeah.
Why? Because if they win and defeat the Panthers, well, that improves the Panthers draft pick, which, keep in mind, belongs to the Chicago Bears in the 2024 draft. If the Panthers would have won, then it just made the Bears' actual pick they own themselves a little bit better too. Mm-hmm. Now, to my knowledge, there's only two teams with one win left in the NFL. It's the Arizona Cardinals and the Carolina Panthers.
Yes.
Right now, the first overall pick would go to the Panthers, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember how it's decided.
Tiebreaker, I think, would go to Carolina, yes.
So right now, they would own the first and third overall pick in the NFL draft. It's not a bad spot to be in if you're the
Bears.
If you're the Bears. Especially considering things kind of point to the Arizona Cardinals potentially taking a quarterback. So if you have the first overall pick, we know what quarterback probably is likely to go number one should he come out, which I'm not buying, although he's not coming out. I think Caleb Williams is coming out for sure. He will be the number one pick. And then after that, it's what quarterback is next. Is it Bo Nix? Is it Drake May? Is it Michael Penix? Is it, insert other quarterback here? The Chicago Bears, Mitch, are potentially looking at a spot where they could take Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, the Arizona Cardinals could take Marvin Harrison Jr. if they decide Kyler Murray is their guy moving forward.
Right, because they activated him this week.
He is back. If they didn't activate him, he was out for the year, I believe.
Yeah, which, I mean, I know what I said last week about how when they were starting, what's his name? The guy that played against us? Tune. I'm like, oh, they're tanking the season. But if they're activating him, they're like, okay, give the fans at least a little bit of hope, even though I still think they're going to go about 4-13 or whatever.
I don't know if I see Arizona winning more than one more game this year. And that's not even with their schedule in front of me. At the same time, if Arizona doesn't win another game, your one game that you won this year was against the Cowboys, which to me is a Super Bowl, because anytime you can beat the Cowboys, and if the Cowboys have a really bad loss to the worst team in the NFL, that's awesome. Last night was a good game for the Bears. One, they won. Two, the Panthers pick remains number one spot in the draft as of right now. Arizona's got to be careful. At the same time, though, if you want a quarterback, there's probably no harm in you winning another game, because Chicago's not taking two quarterbacks, 1 and 2. Like, they're not. If they do, then
maybe they will. You'd be surprised if they picks those teams as he makes.
It is the Chicago Bears. You can't rule anything out there. They might just say, you know what, we're going to go defense. Who knows? Everybody just wants to talk about the potential of Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., the best quarterback in college football this year, at least preseason-wise. He hasn't played like it this year at all.
Yeah.
To a degree, he has, but you look at the Notre Dame game, Caleb Williams has been bad. And the best wide receiver in college football, Marvin Harrison Jr., that's not a debate. That's fact.
Oh,
he
it is.
I mean, they're talking about, could he be the 6th player at wide receiver to ever to win the Heisman, first since Devontae Smith. I believe before Devontae Smith would Desmond Howard count? Because he played both ways? Or was he more of a
kick returner and receiver. Yeah, there's those guys as well.
So, I don't know, but that was such bad football last night. I myself was wondering, did they already bench Justin Fields? He's still out with that thumb injury. And that's what's tough, is if he comes back, Mitch, and he does play well, it's like, where does this team go? Are they going to take another quarterback and get rid of Fields?
Yeah, I could see the Cardinals taking a quarterback before the Bears.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
There's one team out there, though, that I think is hoping the Chicago Bears take a quarterback, because it means they're done with Justin Fields. And it's a team I think realized they made a giant mistake a few years ago. San Francisco 49ers.
I was thinking that, so explain. I mean, I kind of get it. But...
And this is, I think Brock Purdy is still the guy.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But he's looked human past few games they've played since they came to Cleveland. The Browns, there's actually people out there and NFL analysts and everything that said the Browns broke the Niners. Well, they haven't won since the Browns beat them. It was Brock Purdy's first regular season loss. Debo got hurt. Now it looks like Debo's back this week. They're at Jacksonville. But keep in mind what they traded to come up and take Trey Lance.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And this is still my biggest pet peeve is It was the 2021 draft, I believe.
Yes.
When the 2020 college football season ended, it was Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and everybody else. Mm-hmm. But then the pro days and guys throwing against nobody in the air, inside in shorts, and Zach Wilson looked great and Trey Lance looked great. The Niners have a chance to fix that mistake if the Bears go with Caleb Williams, which I think that with where the Bears are at, and I know Chicago Bears fans don't want to hear it if they're even listening to this, I think they're going to probably be in the market for another head coach. And if they get another head coach, is he going to want their guy? And that's something you have to think about. So if they go Caleb Williams or Drake May or Bo Nix, Michael Penix, or whoever else comes out, because, you know, we could talk about those four guys, but then pro days come out and some guy from Lord knows where has a great pro day, they could go that guy. I think Bears fans, for the most part, though, want Marvin Harrison Jr. because you traded a second-round pick for Chase Claypool, who's not even on your team anymore. You got DJ Moore. Now, DJ Moore is a very good wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's the quarterback play has not been good. Tyler Bagent last night, 160-some yards passing. Like, that's not a recipe for success. Now, they won the game. It's a tough spot for Chicago, but specifically Thursday Night Football last night was the best result, I think, for the Chicago Bears. The Carolina Panthers are in a world of trouble, I think. I've rescinded my take of I don't think Bryce Young's the guy. I think they have the wrong coach in Frank Reich. I do. I think Frank Reich, in hindsight, 2020, obviously CJ Stroud is balling. If the roles were reversed, is he balling in Carolina? I don't know. Is Bryce Young balling in Houston? I don't know. But they were I was listening to ESPN Radio, the national show this week, and Panthers fans are already saying how David Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, is the biggest villain in Carolina because he hired this guy that is not had a good run as head coach in Frank Reich. And they took a guy that was small, and people are saying he was a system quarterback at Alabama and Bryce Young. And I don't know if that's fair. Was he surrounded by a lot of talent? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. He had the Heisman Trophy winner on his team.
Yeah.
Like, he had Jamison Williams. I don't think he's a system quarterback, but at the same time, you have to play to your quarterback's strengths. And this is why you see so many guys taking number one overall, go to a team, and they don't play well because teams want to play them how they want to play them rather than how the quarterback should be played. And they got to find a way to get Bryce Young back into his groove because he is a good quarterback. He's not as bad as he's looked so far. The game is a lot faster in the NFL. We know that. We hear it all the time. But to me, heading into the season, were the Panthers and Texans that far off in terms of what you thought they were going to be? Like, I didn't think either team was going to be a playoff contender or a team that's going to be.
No.
Like, no, you thought, okay, both teams have their guy. They're going to struggle. But here, the Texans are up here and the Panthers are still right here. Yeah. And, I got to get my hand in the camera so people can see that. I'm not going to say that they had the wrong draft pick, but my gut's telling me they had the wrong coach there right now. And they made the signing of Miles Sanders, and I'm the idiot that drafted Miles Sanders in fantasy football, and he's not very good this year. He played in a system in Philly that I think helped him a lot. The Panthers got to figure out the coaching.